Ooh, I'm live. Look at that. Repping the Rode NTK if anyone's interested. This is the or no, sorry. Yeah, the K2 NTK, the K2 is the power supply. God. Brain is mush on Friday. Absolute mush. Print press sew. How's it going, man? Afternoon all. I don't think I've seen you here before. Welcome to the live stream. I like it, UK. Greetings from the UK. Cheers, buddy. I'll back this off a little bit so I'm not quite so boomy in everyone's ears. Yeah, this is the tube mic from Rode. I'm trying it out and I've got a video already, hopefully for Monday. I can't see any reason why I won't have it for Monday. We'll see. Fingers crossed. 4 people in the room. Wow. All 4. We're talking AI today, guys. It's going to be fun. 3 people. Oh, so we're losing people already, yeah? Closer proximity effect to the max. Oh, yeah, baby. So you want to hear what it's like to be on the inside of my mouth. No, sorry, that went weird. That went somewhere it shouldn't have. Yeah, I find the proximity effect on my voice tends to be real mud. Real mud. DJ Play Nice, how's she going? Action Popcast. Sup, man? Hello from England. How's it going? Cheers, brother. The NPR effect. Sweaty balls. You just wanted me to say sweaty balls on live stream. That's all. Just trying to get me. By the way, I've had multiple people during videos because I've worn these for a few videos, and people are complaining that they're distracting. I'm kind of thrown off by that because I like most other audio people in their videos wear headphones. I don't, just aesthetically. DJ, cheers, buddy. And when I do, people complain. It's kind of weird. Like they're just headphones, man. Just headphones. How's it going? I know Dylan's going to probably be in the house. Tyler might even be here from Minds of Madness, maybe. It really needs to be purple. I've got the blue. I don't think they have any purple. Yeah, like I would have taken purple. They sent me everything. Orange, green, pink, which I gave my son. That's the one he requested. Which one did I give to Dylan? Got the green, which are still in my car. Pink. These are and I think I got the blue and then a bunch of black. That's all they sent me. Up and share out the live. Cheers, DJ Play Nice. Yeah, I'd appreciate that. Also, drop a like. If you sit there in a thong, that's distracting and likely disturbing. Yeah, I'd say so. Likely disturbing. I like how you have a little bit of a pause on that statement. Most likely, perhaps, maybe. Maybe my counseling bills go through the roof. Maybe not. Oh my God, what's share your referral link? I don't want to share a referral link. Man, stop trying to get me to spend money. Yeah, so Descript is kind of the chat here. Has anybody here seen the new Descript features that they're kind of announcing and going forward with? I'm currently trying to get my count back with Descript. I did a couple videos of Descript way back, like of 2020, I think it was, showing off the AI voices as well as basically their editing tool, which is really cool, especially for audio. But man, they're taking some leaps, and I really want to start covering it, but I also want to use it. So like let me know if you guys have seen what Descript is moving forward with right now. Don't know what Descript is. That's I Like It UK. Oh, buddy. If you're into video, I know this is an audio channel and Descript is doing a lot of cool things. If you're a podcaster right now, Descript is kind of like your go-to. It's scary how good it is at doing the things that you don't want to take the time to do. All counseling is in England is a cup of tea and a slap from your parents. Yeah, that sounds kind of like the counseling I grew up with as well. Yeah, so if you do any kind of podcasting, if you're into any content creation, Descript should be at the top of your list for starting out. It's a monthly pay, and but the amount of stuff it does through AI is ridiculous. And one of the things they just started rolling out is kind of an AI editing agent for video, which if you're a podcaster, you should be running with video. Video is kind of central to that's your growth strategy if you're a podcaster right now, and it's the best one. YouTube is your growth strategy as a podcaster. If YouTube isn't your growth strategy as a podcaster, just pack it in. You're doing it wrong. Um, you should be really like working towards getting driving interest using YouTube as kind of a way to run ads for your podcast and to really generate interest. And companies like Descript or Descript specifically, I don't know if anyone does it as well as Descript, is basically making it uh, dumb shit simple to actually create a podcast that has a video element and clips and B-roll, AI B-roll, which is one of the things that really made me kind of step back and like realize that my second channel that I've had on the ropes for shit, it's been over a year and a half. Wicked growth out of like 3 videos, and I just stopped being able to put the time and attention into it because it's long form storytelling or long form. When you hit 10 minutes of storytelling, there's a lot of B-roll you've got to source, and it takes forever to source the B-roll and put it in. Having an AI agent do your B-roll for you to source it and all that, that is game changer. So like if you guys are into anything, oh please, MySpace is the best option for growth. Obviously, I mean beyond MySpace though. I use AI and NVIDIA broadcast live processing, DaVinci Resolve, and I run LLMs locally. Nice. Um, if you're into NVIDIA broadcast for live processing specifically, Descript is more on the recorded end of things. So it's the post-production suite. Um, it's actually rather unnerving what they've been working on and what it can do from an editing perspective. Like I'm a editor for Minds of Madness, which is kind of like a um, one of those like 0.05% podcasts that is very very popular and very very well run. um I don't know if AI editing will ever get to the point that it can replace that job, the amount of work I do. I wouldn't be surprised though, like with a lot of the AI music, like I've considered using some of the AI music that you can find online for editing the podcast because there's some times where I need a minute 21 of somber but also eerie music that I can just and having to look through all the song categories. It might you never know. But to actually edit like the audio and pace it out properly, I still don't trust AI. But when it comes to like uh, long form AI B-roll, yeah, and the stuff is so mindless. Dylan's in the house. We got a wrench here. Yay. I use NVIDIA for my Plex server and transcoding. It's great. Yeah, NVIDIA is awesome for a lot of things. Hey, Dylan's in the house. Long time no see. Yeah, Dylan. I see him on a daily basis. Dinner, what's that? Yeah, I think my wife's leaving shortly after 6. Um, yeah, what Descript has been able to do, and this is kind of like one of the talking points of the live stream is, are you using Descript or any kind of AI in your workflow as an audio editor, what you do in audio, what you're doing? I know Dylan, except when billiards are involved, apparently, bitch. I promise Dylan, Wednesday nights I go and I play pool. Um, because I take my kid to synchronized swimming, and there's a pool hall called Dooley's in Ottawa. By the way, if you're ever in Ottawa and you wanna, I'm at Dooley's in Ottawa, and I promised Dylan on Wednesday nights that I would come pick him up and we could go play some pool. I completely forgot this week. However, he was in a meeting, so still salty about that. Oh man, I got a lot on my mind on Wednesdays, buddy. What's no, I don't want that. Okay. Um, yeah. I am kind of curious. I know Dylan worked in radio, and AI was becoming a very large part of his workflow. And I am kind of curious, like the content for this channel, whether or not content is going to be something that people want to jump in on. Like, is AI now something that everyone's kind of like, yeah, I want to see where, especially from a podcast perspective, man. Like, especially from, and I think that's where this channel really resonates, is in that field, people getting into podcasting, because the difference between 2018, 2019, and getting into podcasting in 2025 is vast. There's so many differences with that stuff that, like, it's all kind of, it's all changed, and there's no longer old guard of podcasting. Like, it used to be in 2018, you'd have to go out, get an interface, you'd have to learn how to do your own mix minus if you wanted to do phone calls. It's kind of crazy how far it's come. And yeah, AI is getting better. I saw that comment. I'm doing an episode on AI in an upcoming podcast. I've been having hilarious fun and results with ChatGPT. Scary and fun times ahead. Yeah, you know what I mean? From a workflow perspective, ChatGPT is one thing. I'm utilizing ChatGPT for my website because they can reorganize my thoughts better than I can. And when I say they, I have no idea who I'm referring to. It can reorganize my thoughts better than anyone, including myself. But like workflow and editing, like I don't think I'll have any AI editing for this channel. I love the control of the my workflow for this channel. Like, I love the workflow. I love where I'm at. I'm not trying to wimp out of extra work with this channel whatsoever. But the second channel, my podcast that I have coming up, I have gotten so much done this week towards that goal. And like, holy hell, like being able to release extra content. And I see guys like Bandrew who have like 15 channels that they're trying to release content on. And it's like, one of the reasons it's so hard to get content out to all those platforms is because it takes a long time to do content. So it might be interesting. Like, AI is getting better. That's Ernesto, my favorite tech. How's it going, buddy? I think I've seen you here before, Ernesto. Cheers, buddy. Message 7 a.m. waking up in the morning. Okay. Agree and you rock. Cheers, buddy. DJ Play Nice. AI is super critical in broadcast production. Yeah, Dylan's had the inside, and broadcast and podcast, those two worlds are slowly merging right now. So if AI is having a massive role in broadcast, it should be having a massive role in podcast. Definitely for cleaning up audio and even transcription as such. If you have a 30-minute client interview and got a carve 10 useful clips out of it, oh yeah, clip gathering with Descript. Yeah, there's a lot of really cool stuff coming that I'm really trying to get back on into Descript's good graces. I'm having like this long email chain with them about because you get a free account to be able to run with the product and do some videos on it. Now, I've had a paid account before, but the problem is if you want the paid account where you get all the services that really let you kind of expand, it can get pretty pricey. And if I'm doing videos on it, I mean, I, I mean, let me have access to it for a month so I can do a video on it. So I'm still discussing that with them. If I don't get access, I'm going to just pay for it, because don't tell them that. But because I like, it's such a cool concept that I really want to start sharing that. I feel like that's such an important part of broadcasting right now. Um, Print press. So afternoon all, I'm just getting started with YouTube. I plan to focus primarily on tutorial videos leveraging AI to help planning scripts and shots. Print press. So you must know Descript. If you don't, you should get to know. Holy typos. Yeah, dude, come on, man. My chat GPT now answers to Jarvis and greets me with "sup, motherfucker." It also refers to Pierce Morgan, a complete cock yesterday. I think I broke it. One of my favorite tricks that I've learned, I'm not even going to tell you from where, One of my favorite tricks I've learned with AI when you're getting content out of AI is to get it to write it in the style of someone else. Um, that is something that was game changing for me. Like, let's say you have a favorite writer, um, and you want your content to kind of sound like it might be your favorite writer writing it. You can ask AI to do that. That's the kind of stuff that makes me go, damn, that's a cool idea and something that's verging on copyright infringement, but at the same time also kind of fun and kind of finding new ways to, yeah, kind of spoof up your content. Now I use AI on my own content. I don't use AI to source other people's content, to be fair. I write my own stuff and I have, like, when I'm taking a video from video form to website form, I get AI to do that because it takes my own words, it turns it into a script page, and perfect. It doesn't rewrite me, it just kind of formats me, which I love. And AI for PhDs, my wife doing her PhD, man, AI has been such a big help in all that kind of stuff. AI will be checking all our chats soon, then it'll just replace us. Oh, Steve, if you don't think AI is not in every chat on YouTube right now already, ugh. The style of Monty Python. Oh my God, I've got to try that. Oh my God. The Knights Who Say Knee in the style of the Knights Who Say, oh man. That in your general direction. Yeah, that's fantastic. You can teach GPT to write like you, but better, crazy, scary, and funny. Yeah, and I mean, you are teaching Chat GPT to write like you. Whether you, it's not that you can, you are. That's why, like with Descript and like the whole voice thing, I didn't write my voice in, or I didn't introduce my voice into or to Descript very much because I was like, um, you have to ask for it to learn your voice. Like you have to go in and say, here, learn this voice and then recreate this. I didn't like the idea of like it just kind of making a different version of me. That was weird. But every time you enter anything into Chat GPT, it is soaking it up and it's using what it learns to help everyone else. It's actually kind of cool, but also creepy. Even then, I remember we tried an experiment at work where we asked ChatGPT to write a run up to "In the Air Tonight" by Phil Collins, but if Gordon Lightfoot was telling the story in style. In the early morning rain. Yeah. Yeah, it's helping me memorize formulas for calculus at university. Ernesto, that's interesting you bring that up. Creates PDFs and breaks down problems within seconds. We're talking about this just the other day because my wife is actually a university prof now. She she teaches in the midwifery program at a university. And one of the things that a lot of people are talking about is like memorization of whether it be formulas or stuff like that. And it's no longer needed. Like, who needs to memorize a formula anymore? If you're an engineer, you don't need to memorize formulas. Your phone will memorize the formulas. Your phone has all the formulas. You can literally have it as your background screen on your phone. Just look down and go, oh, there's the formula. It like with AI and stuff like that, it's fascinating that they still universities are so backwards when it comes to that stuff and so not forward thinking. Like the idea over the past 10 years that you've had to memorize shit. Like, I mean, back in the day when you're in school, you're not going to be carrying a calculator around in your pocket. Actually, I'm carrying around something that has every answer to everything in the world you'll ever want. Like, yeah, I think I'll be okay without a calculator. I don't think I need to learn long form division anymore. My chat GPT responds like rough UK builder. It's becoming me. I've got the British accent on mine. I think it's the, yeah, I love it's fun. It says, do you want me to, and then I'm like, yes. And it goes, done. I just love that. It was super wooden, technically fulfilled the criterion, but it wasn't a coherent or interesting story. Tried a bunch of different prompt variations too. Well, that's also the station that's doing like they're playing around with a full AI DJ. So I mean, that's why Rogers was getting you to do that, was because that's what they're doing, right? Like I think there's still a station in the US that's already launched with all AI. For math at university, I use my HP RPN calculator to store all the secrets. Yeah, I don't understand. Also, RPN is fucking awesome. I don't understand, like, nowadays, shit, like, why anybody would ever, like, need to. It's mind-blowing. It's mind-blowing that they still make you. Memorize for exams. Unfortunately, we can't use our phones on honor log test. Yeah, but what is that example? Like, what are you showing that you learned? And that's the whole point of an exam. And this is where it comes up, right? Like, an exam is meant for you to illustrate what you've learned. When you've paid money to the university, to teach you the fundamentals of a job that you want to go out in the world and do. Therefore, the exam is meant to let you illustrate that you have learned the very fundamentals of the job that you want to go out in the world and do. And the exam is supposed to, like, the information you're supposed to get is stuff that's going to be fundamentally useful to you. Do you learn how to use an abacus in math? No. I mean, you probably know how to use one, but it's not something that's on the exam. Why? Because it's not something you're going to use as a mathematician in the real world. You don't see engineers writing out stuff in chalk on the ground. And that's the thing, right? Long division is no longer necessary. You don't need to understand how to do long division. Yes, I know if you do become an engineer, but for the average kid, you don't need, beyond knowing how to do it. It's not something that, like, are we ever going to go back to the archaic system of having to write out long division on paper? Probably not. I'm team removing formulas from the learning process. It's like, yes, it should still be at the highest level because formulas shouldn't be lost, nor should the knowledge of how to do said formulas. But should it be the fundamental learning that you have to do to pass a course? I don't think so. Between GPT and my autistic son, I have all the knowledge in the universe. Heard, understood. Completely. Also, side note, HP calculators like the 48G have all the formulas stored already. Like your phone. Like, you can, all the formulas are stored online. And that's what, like, the funny thing is you can ask ChatGPT to tell you what the formula is. We'll just tell you. It's to me, it's one of those backwards styles of learning that the old world is stuck on. Like, I mean, I remember going through typing class, which, like, because people might actually become, you know, typists and receptionists, and that was an important thing. And it's like, I mean, did we really have to learn that? And that, I mean, that was also, yeah, like, the internet was around then, and all the things, all the learning stuff you can do on the internet, but yet we still had a class devoted to how to type. It blows my mind. Yeah, there's just certain things that are obsolete in learning. I'm sorry, Bob, you cannot come up, buddy. But using AI from a fundamental perspective of editing, as an audio editor, as a podcaster, as a YouTuber. I'm looking at you. Who is saying that they were going to, I saw it back here. Print Press Sew, starting a YouTube channel. Plan to focus primarily on tutorial videos leveraging AI to help with planning scripts and shots. Holy shit. Be careful with planning scripts and planning scripts with AI. That's the one thing I will say. They're pretty trash, and they're trash for a good reason. People want to hear your ideas. So the best thing you can do is write a script and have AI turn it into a YouTube script for you. So, like, write it for AI and then have AI format it, basically. I feel like you're running into a lot of problems if you're just going to have AI write the scripts for you. Holy shit, I'm getting behind the comments. We use anti-derivatives to calculate marginal cost or profits for a company. We can only use approved calculators. They lock down your computer to the exam and their own online calculator. Holy shit. That's insane. I mean, I understand where they're coming from. because you still need to know the fundamentals, but to make it like something that is dependent upon you actually joining the workforce is it's so stupid. One of the best classes ever was typing, and yes, my mom was a teacher, and yes, she taught me typing. Our typing teacher was, oh, poor woman. We tormented her. I to this day, we would make her break down crying. I still have like guilt about that class. I was one of the troublemakers. True. Yeah. I did a typing exam, but that was back in the 80s. I was the only boy in the class, so I wasn't too bad. Yeah, I was so we had options when I was going through it where, and I think this persisted into the 2000s. Um was you could take typing or you could take home ec, and there was one other one, and home economics was just, I mean, I should have taken that, but I mean, I've always, the irony is I know how to type, but you can learn that so easily online. It's like a no-brainer. I don't get it. In grade school, I exploited the typing software to let me play games all the time. Nice. I've been meaning to learn DaVinci Resolve with Google Gemini Studio. Nice. Yeah, like, oh my god, my dogs are going nuts. Learning any software nowadays is so simple. It's just so simple. I mean, if you have the time to put in, just, I mean, yeah, like you can ask ChatGPT to teach you how to use Adobe Audition and have it sourced from YouTube videos, and it can do that in a second. She also did the yearbook and English. Most local papers today suck. No who, what, where, when, why. Yeah, that's local papers are mostly done by AI a lot, eh? A lot of stuff has been taken over in the journalism industry by AI. Journalism is one of the next, sadly, one of the next obsolete printer press style industries to go belly up. That was a hard way to put that sentence together. That's one of the industries that's going the way of the dodo because of AI. And I mean, I call it a printer press industry is because like everybody bemoans like, well, it's taking all the jobs. Well, it's always been that way since the beginning of history. When the printing press was released, scribes used to be a massive industry. And yeah, they stopped having work for scribes and for people that needed to like teach others how to read. It made teaching simpler. So like you didn't need as many teachers. You didn't. It's amazing like when you see how it's gone through history and how many inventions have completely changed the working class. It's all going to be the same. But yeah, journalism, oof, it's going to have its ass handed to it in a few years. And tell it what I have for cameras and gear. Oh yeah, that's not a bad idea too. When I took typing, I was on a Commodore C64. Jesus. I remember playing on one. We never had one. We were never the rich family that had a Commodore 64. But my favorite was Summer Olympics. The Summer Olympics game on the Commodore 64. We didn't do any typing on the bloody thing. I had an 8088 though, growing up. Um, one of the OG 8088s, the black and chrome or black and gold. I also did typing. I thought I could meet girls. Did not work, but very useful for programming. Oh God, how many of y'all actually signed up for typing to meet women? Damn. Ohio Scientific Computer, 1980. Wow. See, I'm starting to see like my crowd here, the group of people that watch this channel. You're all as old as me, it seems. That's cool. I mean, that's cool. I know who I'm talking to. I don't relate to younger people. That's okay because I have kids and my kids don't even relate to me, so that's fair. I can see where that all came from. Um, but yeah, you're gonna see over the next couple of years, like, and journalism is one thing, and it's. I mean, I'd like to say it's a shame, but at the same time, with the way news aggregators are going with AI and with, yeah, I don't know, with the political temperature of the world right now and facts seems to be yeah, I don't know how long that journalism degree is going to last. I also got an XT eventually, but my hacking was to change the EDU games to on the C64 to swear at the player. Nice. Uh, that's awesome. Sad, but it's like the typewriter. Yeah, you know what I mean? There's a bunch of inventions that have completely changed industries. Uh, Horse rearing with the automobiles. Automobiles completely changed horse rearing and like equestrian uh, jobs because once automobiles took over, horses became more of a plaything than they were a form of transportation or a work unit, right? Like how much the tractor changed farming. And yeah, there's a lot of examples throughout history how complete jobs have been wiped off the face of the earth just because of uh, moving forward. Blacksmiths is a great one. I started on the Sinclair ZX81 but moved to the Spectrum 48K quickly. I have no idea what either of those are. That also might be based in where you're at. Cause I like if you're talking computers, yeah, I have no idea. Oh man, I had a Sinclair as well. However, its keyboard was a complete garbage. I'm guessing you guys are talking computers. I did that. None of that. That's all like I'm also possibly a little younger. I'm not sure. Like my first computer that I bought myself was a Pentium 100 with a 1.3 gigabyte hard drive. So that's my age. That was my first computer I bought. Sold it to my parents for like $2,600 when I was done with it too. I went out and bought a Athlon 333. Oh man, the Athlon was the Pentium, the Celestian, not Celestian. What the hell was the name of that CPU? I bought one. It was a 333 megahertz computer. That was I bought that with the money I got from selling my parents the Pentium 100. There's a reason they hated me. ZX81 had 1 kilobyte of RAM. Damn. Okay, so yeah, we're talking a little bit older than my stuff. My mother-in-law gave up on her computer, bought a used typewriter. She's 95 and cannot handle touchscreen of an iPad. Yeah, I mean, there's still a lot of people alive right now that can't work with the new technology. Celeron. Oh my god. Yes, membrane keyboard. AMD processors. Actually, AMD back, I don't know, before the dual cores. I I didn't work with AMD a lot. I was on the Pentium side of things. The Celeron. That's exactly what it was. I didn't know much about AMD until the dual core came out. And that's when I actually jumped on board with the Celeron. And yeah, like all of my or jumped off the Celeron. All of my computers were Celeron back in the day because I couldn't afford the Pentium because it was like a premium. So yeah, all of my stuff. Clary process, unless it was a 300A. No idea what you mean. SR375 is decidedly smarter than me. I've learned that in our Discord server. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. I like keeping smarter people than me around. That's most people. Dylan usually he's mopping up my drool most days. So that's I swear to God I'm somewhat smart, but I'm very much eye candy. Don't worry about it. So yeah. I do have to say I'm fascinated by something how and Dylan, if Dylan's watching here, the fascinating difference between doing a solo live stream and doing a kind of a two-person live stream and the amount of people that stick around. We just jumped to 12. Cool. We hit double digits, guys. It's fascinating the differences in the amount of people that stick around for it, which I do appreciate everybody that's here and that's sticking around and showing some love. I appreciate that. Outsider Jess, AI in my workflow for writing. I haven't written a story in a decade, and AI is helping me strengthen my weak points. That's an awesome part of your workflow. And that's to me, that's what AI is exactly meant for. Um, like, to be able to take your stuff and just build you up a bit. Yeah, and that's the stuff that, like, when I look at, um, some of the new stuff that's coming out with Descript and all that stuff, and, like, it's borderline, like, we'll just make content for you and you just put your name on it. Um, yeah, it's nice to see people actually using AI for what it's meant to be. Yeah, Dylan, yeah, it's, one of those. I think after a time, I might look into expanding the show back to 2 people. It seemed not not disrespectful, but it just seemed wrong to, like, replace Dylan right away and to try to find something that I could kinda, flesh out myself, and in time, when I find the right fit. Finding a co-host is not a simple matter of, like, boom, hey, we have a new person that's on camera. There's a lot that goes into it, and, I mean, finding the right person to not just flatter your personality, but also to kind of keep the same audience happy and moving. It can be really tough. You ever see a radio station where you're watching and then the co-host, not the main host, but the co-host leaves, and then all of a sudden the dynamic of the show bombs? And it's not because it's bad, it's just because the dynamics of two people are going to be very different person to person, and sometimes it's really hard to find people that have a really good fluid dynamic. And Dylan and I had been working on it for years. But we've also been good friends since 2015, so 10 years. It's shit, I think it's 2014 maybe. Yeah, I think it was 2014, so 11 years. So I mean, it's hard to replicate that kind of stuff. So 300A was faster and was hackable than its competitors and working in SMP config, unlike others in its class. I just pretend I know what he said. I've used AI to tweak my CV and cover letters and to take text that I've written for presentations and make them more pro. I It's interesting. I've tried with my video or with my scripts to make my scripts to just to make them a little bit easier to read. Like sometimes I'll write a script at night, and because your brain's a little addled, and you get there in the morning to record it, and it feels like you're like someone else wrote this script. But when I put it through AI, it's not me, and that's what the problem I run into with a scripting thing for video is when I'm reading the script, when I'm doing a video, you're hearing my words as I've spoken them. You're not hearing a script that I wrote in someone else's voice. I'm writing in my voice, which is a skill set that you have to learn over time. You have to learn how to write in your own voice. Um, as soon as I make it something else, it'd be like having somebody else write a script for me, and it's never gone well. And I've never really enjoyed it. I find it hard to really mesh that. And like for CV and cover letters, it works awesome, especially cover letters. I have a feeling though, I would be careful with that. There are new ways of detecting AI. And I think with cover letters, that might be a good way of getting like tossed in the bin for being disingenuous. Only ever used AI to research specific things at work because I can't search on Safari. What do you call the one thing on this paper? Joe Audio, cheers, buddy. Yeah, I'm still learning what you can do with AI. Um, and I forget sometimes where I'm like, holy shit, I should use it for that. I had the Mid Journey, which I ended up getting rid of because it wasn't worth it. Thumbnails it made weren't good enough. Um, but yeah, there's a lot of things that you kind of look back and you're like, oh man, that would take, instead of spending like 4 hours doing that, I can just ask AI to do it and then tweak it. That's the way I don't use AI. But yeah, it's so usable. I don't find a lot of people here are utilizing AI from a media perspective outside of Jess, but it's interesting to hear like how people are integrating it, but perhaps not into their audio or stuff like that. But I run it all locally on my big server. That way I can control the content and all the prompting. Nice. Wow. Yeah. I run a lot locally as well. Okay. They're talking to each other. For AI local, check out Olama. All right, cool. I use all AI responses as a guide to tweak. I don't just use it as is. It's more about suggestions. Yeah, and this is SR375. When you're talking about programming and stuff like that, I'd imagine AI has taken a massive chunk of workout of programmers as well. I'd be kind of curious to see. I haven't looked into that. That's something that I would ask Dylan, because Dylan would probably have a pretty good handle on what that um how that's been going over the past little while. Anyways, yeah, I'm thinking I might end up calling it here. I've actually got a bit of a nerve tweak in my hip, and it's causing me some pain. But oh, yes and no for programmers. I've been using it a lot. However, it gets a lot wrong as well. Yeah, you know what? I mean, when you look at if you're doing videos, or if you're doing content, or if you're doing programming, and you cannot be wrong. Fact checking is a great example. Like when I do videos for the second channel, like the history of swearing, you can't get shit wrong. People are gonna like rip you apart if you get it wrong. And like they will never let you forget it. You will lose credibility. It's the same thing with doing microphone reviews. If you get something wrong, even a company will be like, I'm not working with him again. Um, so yeah, like that is the one thing that I fear with AI is like if you take it at if you take it without actually investigating some of the claims, it might screw you over pretty hardcore. So we won't miss Dylan so much. Go on a rant about 32-bit float every once in a while. I rant about 32-bit float as well. The amount of people that have been I've had a lot of interesting interactions on because I've had some videos take off a little bit, especially the Zoom H5 Studio. I've had a lot of unique voices on a lot of videos as people kind of filter through some of my other content. And I see one of the things I don't do on this channel is if you have an opinion and you're like, I hate this company, I don't like them. Cool. I usually don't interact because I like it's not for me. I'm not defending a company. Um, and you get it a lot. Like people are very passionate about their companies and who they support. I generally don't jump in. I'm not offended. I don't care if you like a company or don't like a company. But I seem to have noticed the past little while, people like to throw shade to a company, which is fine. You do you, but then they'll throw shade on me. And I had this just the other day where somebody was like, oh, don't buy so and so. And all the reviewers are literally just pretending that it's good. And they change all the audio to make it sound better than it is. And I've been seeing a lot more of that. And I try to call them out, but damn, man. Why stop at 32-bit float? Let's go 48-bit or more. Yeah. I think it will be interesting in the coming when I decide, it's how do I put this? I know that like the door was left open on Dylan's side for him to come back and still work towards this. I'm still struggling with that. Maybe I should ask AI about it, but it's one of those things that I feel because of his relation. I feel like there would be a lot of question of what Dylan could and could not say. And two, I wouldn't want to put him into a spot because he does represent a company. And like I'm currently trying to work with companies right now to do some collaborative stuff, which is heavy on specs, for example. I don't want to give too much away, but I've reached out to another company and I've said, hey, I want to do this video. This is the concept. It's going to be a cut-in style. So I'm going to introduce the video. I'm going to cut to you as a person that works for X company, and then I'll cut back to me. So you can kind of fill in the gobbledygook, the stuff that like I don't want to get wrong is what I'm saying. Like if I'm representing information about your product or your company, and if I'm a little bit off and it's going to misrepresent your product or misrepresent you as a company. I don't want to do that. So you guys come on, do it. The amount of red tape you go through for that I'm finding. I'm working with one company now, and they're trying to, they don't want to just jump on and like, hey, let's just do a live stream. We're going to talk about it, because shit can happen on a live stream, man. You can say some shit. Like you can say some interesting stuff on a live stream, and I don't have to worry about it. But like, I also don't want to put other people in the position to, and Dylan's one of those, right? Like, um, I'm well aware that like it would probably be fine, but like the off chance that me being an asshole and leaning into a conversation could cause a problem for somebody like Dylan would that would suck. Um, so I think the general consensus is I'll start to consider options. I've thought about reaching out to some people. That's actually a good question. And hit me up in the comments if you're watching this later. Who out of the YouTuber space would you like to see a weekly live stream with? Because I will say one thing: Bandrew's out. Bandrew's got way too much on the go. I've asked him before if he'd be interested in doing, and like, there's definitely like total respect for the guy. Dude does so many channels. He works a full-time job. I don't blame him. Um, but there are other people, and like people that I've reacted with over time. So I'd be kind of curious to see what you guys think. Um, I've got a few people in mind. I've tried to give, because the one thing I've kind of got to get over is the fact that I'm not going to replace Dylan or Dylan's role on the channel. Um, Dylan has a unique skill set, unique set of skills. Uh, that is, it would be kind of ridiculous to try to like fill and like, okay, so how much do you know about 32-bit float? I could just see the interview now, and that's not something I even want to try to bridge. So it's going to be a different vibe, and keeping it to the point where I wouldn't have to worry about doing prep, and it could just be a nice flowy conversation. It would be an interesting to see what you guys think. I'm kind of curious. I don't like when companies lie to people. You and me both, Jess. And I'm finding it's an interesting thing. I'm finding an interesting interaction with companies over the past year since I've kind of been a little hard on some. And it's a very unique situation, because companies have to be held accountable too. But when you start to hold them accountable and you start to see what happens when you hold them accountable, companies start to straighten out pretty quick. I mean, their bottom line involves them straightening out, right? So, yeah. If you print the spec, make it happen. I've no idea what you're referencing there. What happened to Dylan, if you don't mind me asking? Don't got much time to tune in. Joe, sorry, buddy. Dylan was picked up by Mackie/Rode, or yeah. So um, the founder of Rode was a big fan of the live stream. I think he still watches. So if he is, hi Peter. And he ended up picking up Dylan, and Dylan was without a job at the time. He had been laid off, and I mean, Dylan took the dream job that he's always wanted from Mackie. So yeah. Wished him well, saw him out the door, and I've been struggling with what to do with the live stream since. Holy shit, we're up to 17 people. Is this actually interesting for people? Cool. Richard, I worked for a MFG. As long as I make it clear that you are an MFG, I'm cool with you being involved. MFG? I'm unsure what you mean by MFG. Jeff Gerling would be fun. I don't know who Jeff Gerling is. Jeff Gerling. I got to look this up. He's Geerling. Jeff Geerling. Oh, he's like into Raspberry Pi and stuff like that. That's interesting. The Untitled Linux Show. Jeff Geerling. There it is. Oh, gross. Don't play audio. Oh, 915,000 subscribers. Tell you what, y'all, reach out to him for me, and if he says yes, get back to me. I have a feeling he probably has no interest in hanging out with the 35,000 kid. How Bandrew isn't burned out, I have no clue. I don't know either. Um, I think the reason is, and this should come as no surprise to anybody, I think he absolutely fucking loves what he does. I think he's driven by a passion that I've seen in very few other people to do what he does. I've like, dude is so driven, and like mad props to Bandrew for, yeah, like he doesn't do it for any other reason other than the fact that I think he just loves doing it. So also Jeff's dad would be fun since was in broadcast. Oh, uh, I don't know Jeff's dad either. It's sometimes hard when people dump on your product when it's not for them. Yeah, our thing is $50. It's not 500. Or yeah, it's if it's live events, don't buy our thing. Yeah, no, I know. I know there's a differentiation when you're on both sides of the coin, right? But there's also like you'll see in my videos before where is he being easy? Is he going easy on that company? Because you know what the company tried to do. But when you have situations, and I'll use USB mics as an example. 2 years ago, companies were literally like throwing shit at the walls trying to get something to stick with USB mics. Everything was USB mic this, USB mic that, USB mic this. Every company came up with a freaking USB microphone. And it was like, guys, come on, you know, you're like, cool. It's the new thing that everybody's doing, but you've got to like set yourself. I'm just reviewing the same microphones in different bodies every bloody week. It's too much. And I felt like that was disingenuous, where everybody's just trying to capitalize rather than release a good product. And I think the first one that really like blew me away, obviously with the combo mics, the MV7, the Pod Mic USB, that was awesome. Rode releasing the XDM, the XCM, the XCM50, the XDM 100 was a really cool product. But outside of that, the Sennheiser Profile, was it? Sounded great, but cool. For the amount of money you could have bought an SM58 and an interface. So there is a lot of like that kind of stuff where companies were not acting in the best interest of the customer. And I think that's where I start to get a little irritated with companies, where I start to push back when I feel like this was a move to make money. And I understand that all companies need to make money. I'm fine with that. But come on, at least do a little bit of market research before you release a bloody product. Do a little bit to figure out whether or not you're just releasing a product to try to capitalize on a trend. Um, and I feel like it's happening less now. Another good example were podcast or broadcast mics about 3 years ago, where every bloody microphone that was released was a broadcast microphone. Yeah, it's hard not to shit on some products like that. Don't want to change topics too much, but thoughts on Lark Max versus Lark Max 2. Have not had hands on. I'm going to be hands on soon. I've reached out to them. I'm hoping that will, I thought manufacturer. I thought so. Thank you, Richard. Am I on Mastodon? I am not on Mastodon. I've heard isn't Mastodon.social. I started a Blue Sky, but I never started a Mastodon. I like the band. It's been a while since. Oh, do I have a Mastodon? No, this can't be my. No, I'm not logged in. Okay. I might actually have a Mastodon page. I should look it up. See what email I actually used to do it. It might be on there. I signed up for Blue Sky. I have a Twitter. I don't use Facebook anymore. I'm not a big social person from social media perspective. But I want to expand. This is one of the things that AI has me really kind of narrowing down on, is trying to find clippable stuff for other socials. So keeping my Instagram going. I have an Instagram that I just do not upload to, and I would love to. I have a TikTok even. but I don't want to do the usual TikTok, like microphone reviews, TikTok. I don't know. You can host your own. It's a Fediverse, so servers can talk to each other. I think you're talking to somebody else. I'm on Queef Social. Did you just say that? So I'd say Queef. Asking for a friend. Yan, how's it going, buddy? Welcome to the show. 22 people. Holy crap. Maybe people just forgot that I live stream on Fridays. Oh, drop down to 18. There you go. Guys, yeah, definitely hit a like on your way out. I really do appreciate it. If you guys can think of somebody, Linus Sebastian would be great for me to do a live stream every Friday, but I don't think it's going to happen. But if you know somebody that might be attainable, you got to remember it. Also, there has to be some overlap in personality is a good example. I'm not rough around the edges. I'm a little blunt. I'm a blunt instrument. I'm not very refined in a lot of the ways I deliver my content. I'm also an ex-host, so like I'm very much when I'm in a show mode, I like to perform to a certain degree. So like that yeah, you'd have to find somebody that's like, yeah, like Dylan and I have a lot of similarities in our personality that went really well together. So yeah, if you think of anyone, let me know. And if you guys really want me to reach out to somebody, feel free to also reach out. Just say Dark Corner Studios is looking for a co-host. And they can come to me. But other than that, guys, yeah, like I'm not even kidding about the hip. I'm an old man now and I have a nerve problem in my hip this week. So I am going to end the stream. Hey, we made it for an hour though. I appreciate y'all guys, and we'll see you next week. Cheers.